China expanding its Belt and Road Initiative to Panama, and with open arms from Panama's president, who calls the Chinese initiative a big opportunity. China announcing plans to construct more than $4 billion of high-speed line from Panama City to Costa Rica, part of the Belt and Road Initiative. Since establishing diplomatic relations with Panama just 2 years ago, China has secured 47 bilateral agreements. Last year, Panama awarded a Chinese consortium a $1.4 billion contract to build a bridge over the Panama Canal. Direct flights will also be available between Shanghai and Panama within the coming months. And the U.S. response has been, well, we'll take that up with Dr. Michael Pillsbury, Director of the Center for Chinese Strategy at the Hudson Institute, author, trade advisor to the Trump administration. And Michael, it's great to have you with us. Let's start with Panama.
Thanks, Lou.
That's an amazing story, success story for China.
Yes.
And I go back to thinking about Jimmy Carter when he turned over the Panama Canal.
That's 40 years ago, Lou.
40 years ago, and I happen to think that we have not come close to putting that much money into Panama in our total investment over that time.
I think we gave up a lot of influence in Panama.
Yeah.
And the problem is, as you know very well, you've been sounding the alarm for a long time, the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative and other loans they're putting out, really based on the idea that money talks. And if we don't counter that with our own approach and our own warnings, then they're not only going to have Panama as their friend, they've made a lot of progress in the past week in Italy. They've got the Italian Prime Minister signing up for the Belt and Road Initiative. It's astonishing. The French President, Angela Merkel in Germany, all endorsing what the Italians are doing. So I'm getting a little worried here that our old theory, Lou, as you know, I call this a major intelligence failure.
Yep.
Our old theory was China's weak, they're going to collapse, they can't do anything. You know, they're run by a bunch of has-beens who are all atheists. And now we're seeing that China, as President Trump has said, closing in on us. President Trump's now said, it's not going to happen on my watch that they surpass us. But I hope he's right. They're on the move.
Well, we all hope he's right. What we don't see are initiatives, either geopolitical or geoeconomic,
Yes.
that are in any way a competition to the Chinese. And for crying out loud, we're talking about in our hemisphere.
Yes.
And we've got communists teaching capitalists how to use money, for crying out loud.
Yes. You know, the Cold War began in 1947. Congress and the president created CIA, NSC, Joint Chiefs of Staff, a new law about how to manage the Cold War. We've done nothing like that on China. People know that there's some kind of challenge from China, but this idea that China is going to collapse is just killing any effort on our part to resist them.
And what are we to do?
We've got to change our government structure. The president's got to get some more people working for him who share his vision. We've got to take it much more seriously than at the present time. I remember Secretary Jim Mattis has many positive things to be said about him, but he told the press, who were shocked back in August last year, I'm making my first visit to Beijing in my whole life. We can't have people who have no knowledge of China acquire all the top jobs in our government when we face them as the major challenge.
Well, I take your point, but at the same time, I can't abide a intelligence community that doesn't seem to understand expending presumably billions of dollars in careers in the effort, not understanding the Chinese any better. Or did I mention Russia? Or did I mention Iran? Or did I mention Saudi Arabia and the entire Middle East? We have an intelligence community that, it seems to me, needs to be restructured before anything meaningful can happen anywhere else. Because if they are our eyes and ears on the world, we are blind and deaf right now.
That's exactly right. There's a little-known provision of law that the CIA and the intelligence community have to report to the Congress if there's been what's called a significant intelligence failure. But they treat that word significant as kind of a loophole. So they haven't really made a confession yet to the two intelligence committees. We got China wrong for a long, long time. I'm waiting for that to happen, but I'm not holding my breath.
Are you holding your breath on Germany making a decision on Huawei to not integrate Huawei into their 5G network?
I think it's hopeless, Lou. I think they've gone too far. I saw their defense minister from Berlin to Beijing and just gush all over the Chinese military. It makes you want to cry.
Yeah. Well, we're going to avoid at least that part of the pain and suffering for a little while. Dr. Michael Pillsbury, always instructive. Thanks so much for being with us.
There's good news on the trade talks, but we'll talk about that next time.
Well, I've heard about good news for some months now, so I think we can wait till the next time. It's going to be in short order. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lou.
Michael Pillsbury.